The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. It's Disney's live-action take on the Nutcracker tale. I remember that when this one came out, everyone was drawing parallels between this and those Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland movies. And I can definitely see that, but I don't think it's fair we judge it solely as an Alice wannabe, even because this movie looks much prettier than the Burton ones in my opinion. But is the story any good? Let's take a look. In this movie, we follow Clara, a young woman with a knack for inventing who is dealing with the loss of her mother. She gets invited to a Christmas party thrown by Drosselmeyer, her godfather and fellow inventor, and while searching for her gift, she stumbles upon a magical world with all sorts of curious inhabitants. This world is divided into 4 realms, but legend has it that the 4th realm tried to attack the other 3 and has since been ostracized from the rest. With rumors that the 4th realm plans another strike, it's up to Clara to lead the magical denizens and help them defend their land. There's dancing, fighting, excessive CGI, pretty dresses, and even a ballet interlude. You know what's barely in this though? The Nutcracker. Yeah, there's a lot of Nutcracker missing in the Nutcracker and the Four Realms. There technically is a Nutcracker, but in name only, because he's just a regular looking guy. Nothing about him says Nutcracker to me. He just looks like your typical toy soldier. But Clara looks at him and calls him a Nutcracker, and we're just supposed to buy it. But he doesn't really do anything. He's just sorta there to follow Clara around. At the end of the movie, there's a part where he's supposed to be kicking and fighting and really proving his worth, but the movie shows him talking about it more than actually doing it. And it's not the guy's fault. This movie has some weird editing and pacing. Certain scenes sometimes just come out of nowhere, the dialogue is weird and stilted and feels like it's not progressing at all, some characters don't really have a purpose in this film, it's all kind of a mess. The movie has the right vibe. It understood the assignment and really tried to create a magical land of sweets and snowflakes where toys come to life. But the story is all over the place. There's this whole thing with how Clara's mom had discovered the land before her daughter and was actually the queen of the realms before she died, but then it turns out that the mom apparently created all of the inhabitants of the land because she has a machine that brings toys to life. And I kept waiting for there to be some sort of explanation, like the machine runs on imagination or something, but no, it's very literal. It's a real machine that can give life to toys and also take it away. Does that mean that the mom built the realms themselves from scratch, or did she just populate them? And where did she get them any toys anyway? The movie just feels like it's building a lot of ideas up, but doesn't exactly know how to tie off those loose ends. Drosselmeyer is there, and just kinda has a whole magical dimension hidden inside his house, and also he was the one who raised Clara's mom when he found her as an orphan, and it seems like there's some big connection there, or some explanation that makes it all click, but the movie never gets to it. Clara and the Nutcracker try to have a thing going on, but it rings very flat. They don't share any meaningful dialogue or spend much time together aside from running around the realms. So when they have to say goodbye at the end, the movie tries really hard to convince you that this is an emotional scene, but I couldn't bring myself to feel much. And the last shot we see of the Nutcracker is him looking all sad that Clara's gone, and it almost looks like he's going to say something, but then gives up. And the movie gives him no closure. He's just left there hanging. I don't know if they were hoping for a sequel to tie up those loose ends, or if they wanted this to develop into some sort of expanded multiverse. I mean, everyone was trying to do that back when this film was released. And there was potential for it. Maybe they would explore the other realms more too. But they didn't end on a cliffhanger or anything. The plot wasn't exactly demanding a sequel. We are left with a bunch of unanswered questions and no real call to answer them. There's a villain, and there's a twist villain, and it's really annoying how inescapable those feel nowadays. Their motivation is very weak and doesn't really justify the calamity they bring in the story. As for Clara herself, she's not exactly likable either. In fact, there are some moments in the movie where she comes off as downright vicious, like when she's threatening to kill a mouse or when she's barking orders at the soldiers. She's supposed to be brave and a strong leader and not like other girls, but most of the time she just acts completely self-entitled. What really saves this movie for me though is the aesthetics. I love the way this film looks, I just want to eat it up. The costumes are really pretty, and it always brought a smile to my face whenever Clara stepped into the scene wearing a new ball gown, or when a new character was introduced. I love these designs, I love these settings, it's a beautiful movie. I really wish this had a story that was as good as the visuals. It's hard to overlook this factor when this film takes itself so seriously, like it's supposed to be an epic narrative that takes the viewer through fantastical kingdoms and mind-blowing plot twists. It's not. It's just a pretty Nutcracker movie, with barely any Nutcracker in it. I recommend you watch this one without paying too much attention to the story. Just zone out and let the visuals take your hand. Or watch it with a friend so you can poke fun at it while commenting on how beautiful the costumes are. It's a feast for the eyes, but your brain might be left wanting more.